Big breaking news for you this evening, as it seems West Ham United are on the verge of their fourth summer signing, potentially, as we seem to be about to be in agreement with Ajax over the purchase of Mohammed Kudus. Now, this is one of these ones that's been taking twists and turns left and right. It's been one heck of a saga and one heck of a changeable one at that. I felt like just as recently as last night when I recorded the video that went up at 7 o'clock this morning on this very channel, that this signing was probably not going to happen. I was out of hope on that one. It felt like it was done now that Paquetá was staying. It wasn't going to happen, and yet all of a sudden, as of about 10 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago, as of the recording of this video, David Ornstein has tweeted out, West Ham are on the verge of an agreement with Ajax to sign Mohammed Kudus. Official West Ham United bid for 23-year-old Ajax attacking midfielder expected to be accepted. Now, there's some details with that, which we're going to go into, that Ornstein has also put out. But when you talk about journalists who report on West Ham, when you talk about people who talk about transfer rumours in general, there's certainly a hierarchy about it. There's a tier to it, okay? We speak about it all the time. Myself and Gio mention it on almost every video we do when we talk about transfer gossip. There are certain names that when they talk, specifically about West Ham, you listen. And then there are certain names that not. So when, for example, TalkSport put out a report or a rumour of us being interested in someone or someone else being interested in one of our players, you can put it to one side. It's in the to watch category. You go, okay, they're saying that, let's keep an eye on that situation if it develops and see what happens. But you don't take it as gospel. You don't take it as something that is legitimately happening. David Ornstein, who's put this out, works for The Athletic, and he is in that top tier, that S-rank category, that when he talks, you listen category. He's up there with X, with Fabrizio, with Jacob Steinberg of The Guardian. He's up there with these top tier people who put out stuff that is legitimately on the money. When he talks, you listen. And David Ornstein's up there with Fabrizio in the sense of when he talks about basically anything and everything, you listen. David Ornstein seems to have his finger in a lot of pies and is incredibly well informed. One of the best things that The Athletic have in terms of in the know sort of information, if you will. And that's incredibly true with West Ham. He is someone who, when he talks, you listen. And him putting out that we are on the verge of an agreement with Ajax that's expected to be accepted. Not even that we've just put in another bid, because we've been hearing that over the last couple of days, that we're putting in a second bid for Kudus. So it's worth this much. This is how it compares to the Brighton bid that happened and all these other things. No, he's saying it's expected to be accepted, which is big time news. That feels like it's going to happen, because part of the problem with the Mohammed Kudus transfer has been that with Ajax have felt like one of the stumbling blocks over the last couple of days, as we've sort of dragged on a little bit, and I have become definitely less optimistic about this transfer happening. I felt like, and it has been reported that Ajax were one of the stumbling blocks, trying to find an agreement, trying to find a deal that they would go for. The other stumbling block being, of course, the agent, which we'll get onto. We've heard that Ajax move the goalposts, and there's been examples of them doing that in the past. In the patron group chat that we have at Hammers Chat, with all the top tier patrons in a group chat, I saw them talking about the Antony transfer to Manchester United last year, for example, doing something similar, where they were just moving the goalposts further and further back, making it more expensive the closer a deal was getting. Something they're sort of known for doing. And it felt like to me that we were probably reaching potentially the limits of where we would go for Kudus, especially given the fact that Paquetá is now staying at West Ham. So when we talk about numbers, it felt like maybe we wouldn't push to get this one completed. When Paquetá was leaving to go to Manchester City, then yes, we were almost desperate. It would have been the perfect replacement. Someone who's young, exciting, really good at attacking, really good at dribbling, really good at basically everything. Someone who could come in and play very much the Jesse Lingard role that Lingard played when he originally came here, but better, younger, with a huge upsale, huge up value, massive like resale value down the years, all of that sort of stuff. Big time offer. He would have been perfect. But then once that transfer went away for the reasons it went away, I felt like maybe we wouldn't have the need and the passion and the want to push it to get it over the line. And reports yesterday suggested as much. We heard that Ajax knew how much we wanted the player, so they were quite happy to move the goalposts. So yesterday, there started up rumours out of nowhere that we were looking for alternatives, specifically En-Nesyri. En-Nesyri, I don't know how to pronounce his name, he came up as someone who was an alternative. I'm not sure how. They're very, very different players. For example, En-Nesyri, big guy, lots of headers. Love that from a striker. Kudus, small guy, very dribbly, not even necessarily a striker. So I don't understand how they're alternatives. But it was put out specifically that he was an alternative to Kudus. And then all of a sudden, we're expected to have the bid accepted. It feels a little bit like we've gone, okay, we'll go find something else. And they've gone, whoa, 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 whoa. Well, okay, let's talk about this. Because apparently, Kudus does want to leave this summer. Now, let's talk about the specifics of the numbers, because we also have that information from Ornstein. He says 41.5 million euros plus 3 million euros in add-ons and a 10% sell-on clause. Personal terms in place on a 5-year deal with an option of a sixth. That seems about what they wanted. From what we heard, it was 45 million euros and stuff. What's that? That's just under 40 million pounds or something. I don't know the exact number. I'm not xia.com. I should have probably done that before the show went live, right? But that's just where we're at. That seems about what we would expected. That seems about what they were asking for. If we are at the stage where they're close to accepting, the 10% sell-on clause probably makes it really beneficial to them. You get rid of the guy, you put him in the Premier League, where you've already seen with, for example, Paqueta, how you can sell a guy to West Ham for however much it was, like straight, the flat fee, as opposed to the total combined number of the package, if you know what I mean. The flat fee, which was like, 35, something like that, going up to 50 or whatever. He could be worth 90 million the next summer. So actually, if you sell him to West Ham and you give him a 10% sell-on clause, that's probably worth a heck of a lot more than we were willing to pay. If we're probably going, you can have a 10% sell-on clause, or you could get an extra, 2-3 million? Well, if we sold him for 90 million next summer, that's 9 million coming in. Do you know what I mean? It makes it a heck of a lot more valuable for them and makes sense. And it seems that we've finally got the agreement with them. And the other side of it is the personal terms. David Ornstein saying that we've then basically not a problem. They're in place on a 5-year deal with the option of 6, which makes sense for someone his age. It also spreads that cost out when you amortize it in the back end of how these transfers work in accountancy. Listen to the Price of Football podcast. They talk about that amortization all of the time. As a former accountant, it's one of those things where I go, no, that's quite smart and also unnecessarily complicated. But there we go. That's just the way these things work. Makes it a little bit cheaper for us. But also, specifically, it means that the agents are no longer potentially an issue, because that was the other big stumbling block we've heard, is that the agent has been difficult to work with. When Brighton were chasing him earlier on in the summer, one of the reasons they pulled out, it was reported as being they found it really difficult to work with the agent and they weren't really keen on carrying on doing that. And so if we have personal terms in place and we expect the deal to be agreed, then it feels like, at least at this stage, we haven't heard exact things from the agent side specifically, but that's all sorted. And it seems to be actually like it's going to happen. I'm still sort of holding my breath a little bit, given how many twists and turns this transfer has had. And we started looking at other people. X was putting out yesterday that we were potentially looking at a situation where we're looking at En-Nesyri as an alternative, but maybe we go for both and all these other things. I'm not getting too overexcited just yet, because I do feel like there might be one last twist of the tail in this one. I really hope there isn't. And also, I'm holding out my breath because I don't particularly know where he's going to play now. If Paqueta is staying, I don't know exactly where he fits in, but that's a problem for if he joins, because I'm incredibly excited about this signing. I love the player. I love his age profile. I love his ability. I love everything about it. I really, really, really hope this happens and that actually this is the final twist. We are here. We're on the home straight now. No more that. We're on the home straight. But how do you feel? Let me know in the comment section below. Is this a good deal? Does it represent good value for money at 41.5 million plus 3 million plus the 10% add-on? Is that good value for money? Of course, all of those in euros. Where do you think he's going to play if he does join? Are you excited about this transfer in general? Let me know every one of your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe if you're new around here, because you best believe if this happens, and for all of your other West Ham breaking news, you'll be hearing it right here on the Hams Chat channel. Hit the like button because it helps us out massively. Hit the bell notification button because, we can keep you up to date with all that stuff. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, come your irons, have a good one, and seems like we might be about to get our man. The transfer window finally seems to have worked in our favour. Finally. We'll see if that ends up happening. See you later, everyone. Bye.